In 2023, miniature painting changed forever with the introduction of the Krydrufi all-in-one modular art box. Now, in 2026, can they do it again? Stick around and find out. Hey everybody, Justin from Critical Paint Studios here. Now, the team over at Krydrufi have sent me a wonderful little package that we're going to have a look at today. Here it is. Now, this is for an upcoming Kickstarter, which is happening around May 2026. It is currently in the pre-selection stage, so you can click the link down below to be added to the list. And that will go towards giving them the proper feedback they need to see how many units they need to create. As you know, I am a big fan of the Krydrufi system. Here it is right here on my desk. I've got the wet palette there, and I use them all the time. This particular set I've had for a little while now, and it is showing its colors. As you can see, I got that from the original Kickstarter, and it's been everywhere with me. I take it to our paint meetups for the Brisbane Display Painters Guild whenever I go away and I want to paint something, some Christmas trips, things like that. It's been a studio away from my studio, which I've loved to pieces. So, Krydrufi have sent me this box. This box contains the version 1, so this, part 2. So it's an expansion to the original set if you've already got one. If not, it's okay. You can buy everything that you will need during the campaign. So we're going to get stuck in. Now, let me just bring up the top-down camera. Here it is. So Min and the team have been kind enough to send through this for me. So we'll get this box out of the way. Now, first thing you'll notice is brown. So we'll go over to this screen. As you can see, very, very lovely wood grain finish. Very 70s. I'm loving every second of it. I want to try and get all the stickers off mine so I can put on this. Now, some of the other aspects, like I'll take through both of the systems. So this is the new one. I can just pop that piece over there. Well, I'll get these bits out first. 1, 2, so we can see them in their entirety. Now, the original paint system encompasses a water holder, brush holders, a wet palette, a section that was set for palette paper, so you have a dry palette essentially, and another added storage compartment. Now, I still stand by that the Krydrufi wet palette is the best wet palette that I've ever used. And I'm going to continue to say that because none of my other wet palettes come close, even by a fraction. That's how good they are. So, that system, when it came out, I spoke with Min and the team, and the community has spoken. There's a community group on Facebook that's set up for this. They got together, they asked the community, what do you want to see in the next iteration of the Krydrufi? I had some suggestions. The silicon fidget toys, for instance, are a perfect size for a little storage system. So much so, we'll go back to our top-down camera here, and I'll show you my wet palette, which I was using earlier on stream today. So as you can see, wet palette, it's a mess. That's how I paint. But this little gray thing is a custom, just sort of paint well that I made for myself because it was the only thing missing in the system as far as I was concerned. That and a couple other things, but we'll get to those shortly. And your normal wet palette stuff. All good. So let's close that up so I don't waste those paints. the next iteration, in the original iteration, sorry, getting ahead of myself, let's grab this out. So in the first iteration, we had silicon pad that sits in the bottom of the paint container, of the water container, just as a texture thing to clean your brush off. Not too sharp, so not to damage the brush hairs, but definitely good for a good idea for cleaning. Now, Krydrufi have taken that a step further and made an insertable tray that sits in the bottom of those cups beautifully. It has a little handle, so it doesn't get stuck in the bottom. And same, not as sharp textured feel, but sort of still textured feel. Very nice. There's 2 of those in the set. Yeah, the next bit. So this is the component box, which we will open up. So having responded to the feedback of the community and my feedback, I wanted one of those silicon wet palettes. This is the answer that we got to that question. Now, you'd think that's a very big wet palette. It is a very big wet palette, but it has dual functionality, which I will show you right now. So move this out of the way. We'll grab out one of our paint pots, or our water pots, which has water in it that we want to save for another day. So previously, you couldn't do that because there's the container itself, but there's an opening just here. So you couldn't sort of put, the only way you could get around it was by putting cling wrap or something over the top. But now this little thing, paint palette, has a very mild lip around the outside and pushes in, pushes down, make sure it's straight, and oh, I put it in the wrong way. There we go. It goes that way. So there is 6 small recesses, 2 medium recesses, 1 large recess. You put the large recess towards the handle, it sits a lot better because the containers are not exactly square. So now that I've got that in there, I'm holding that at the side. There's no liquid coming out of that whatsoever. Like there's a tiny bit starting to eep out. So that solves 2 problems. A, silicon mat, or the silicon palette, which I wanted. And 2, a lid, which other people wanted. So that's awesome. Let's put this all back together. Now, the next piece, oops, is a couple of my favorite pieces. So first, I spoke to Min a couple of years back, like literally weeks after I received my pledge for the original Kickstarter, and said, this needs a small piece of glass as a sort of dual palette. So watercolor, oil color, acrylic, gouache, anything you want can go onto this palette. This one's still wrapped because I plan on giving one away at some point. So this is brand new and ready to roll, and this is prototype. So it's very special. But it fits beautifully, as you can see, into the top section, which is perfect because that now gives you a palette that sits on your wet palette, which is brilliant. And then the other thing that I wanted was a dry brush palette. Click over to this camera. Now this is a very early prototype. This is just a rough 3D print, but we've got a little skull section with sort of a dirt terrain. Got some cobblestones and some bits and pieces and detritus. We've got some brickwork, some damage, some grills, and some wood texture. Now, this is for when you do your dry brushing. So you look at a dry brush here, put paint on your dry brush, and then you rub it off onto the dry brush to see, well, to get to the consistency and thickness of paint that you want to then dry brush your model with, which is a really cool idea. And I'm glad that they were able to make one that the community was happy with. This is from a community vote, which was very, very cool. And just sort of a side note, it shows how committed are to this paint system and what this paint system is. It's very rare that you see a company embrace the community as much as Krydrufi has, and they are always talking with us. I speak to Min every couple of days just about various things that are happening. Now, the last piece that we'll get to, which I didn't think I would use, but I've ended up using, and I'm really enjoying it. Normally, I wouldn't want anything like this, but we go to our top down. So we've got our little inserts. Now, this is an early prototype. So what I will do is, where are we? Pop them in that way. So, right, no, that was, I was doing it the right way. These bits first facing up. We just slot straight in, and it gives you, splits it into 3. And then you just slot in your remaining pieces in any fashion that you want. You can have some big ones, you can have some small spaces. And I've been told that prints of this kind of stuff will be available if you want to make more for them, if you've got a 3D printer in your printer savvy. So you've got a little container. Now, you don't necessarily have to have both of these in. You don't even have to have either of them in. You can just have it split lengthways, say for bits and pieces for swords and stuff like that. You can also, I just had the thought, let me see if I can do it. So you can set it up so sort of pen storage. Oh, it's almost big enough. Well, it is big enough for brush storage if you've got the lower grade tips, the smaller, finer tips on. Will this one fit? No, it won't. But just had a thought. Currently painting a commission at the moment, and I just had the thought that, yeah, there you go. Even the big characters. Oh, that guy might be a bit too big, but that's okay. Put her down. Put the one that we're working on down as well. But for standardized figures, perfect. Those are standard 32mm figures from Reaper Miniatures. So as you can see, they sit quite happily in there. Be nice and safe. Won't bounce around too much. These are PVC miniatures, so they won't break. They'll bend quite a lot, but they won't break. But yeah, that's the storage container. Pop that over there. Now, as I said, early May at this stage. We're still tentative on that. So we might have, the date that they're looking at is around May 8th at this stage. There may be some extra time thrown into there. Hopefully not too much. Pop all this back together. How did I have that? I had it this way. There we go. That there. I can put my lid back on. And as an example, I'll do it this way. That's onto there. Clip that on. Without the water in it, obviously. I have just 2 water bottles that I store water in when I'm taking it around so they don't slosh everywhere. But those little silicone seals should do the job for you. Let me just pop this on. And there's our full system. Isn't that beautiful? Like, honestly, it's one of the best investments I've ever made on my painting journey. Like, to me, this unit is as important as good lighting. That's how severe it is. And you just saw how quick it was to pack up as well. So, like, you've got those storage bits at the side. Well, if we move back here, back to this one, we can pop our unused brushes down there. And while we're waiting, for instance, if we have brushes that need to be soaked, pop them in there like that. And they're soaking, and you can adjust the distance. So None of the ferrule touches the water. This green stuff is just a mixture of green stuff, or simple green cleaner and water. Then I've just got my water and a little bit of glycerin as a surface tension breaker. But yeah, it's a brilliant little system. The link is below. Now, no matter where I'm posting this on whatever platform, the link for interest will be below. So I'll be putting this on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and well, pretty much anywhere I can post it, and I will. But coming up in May, Krydrufi, the all-in-one modular paint system version 1.2. This wood grain piece is an extremely limited edition. It will only be available in this Kickstarter. You won't be able to get it anywhere else apart from my channel on Twitch, where I will be giving two away. I'll be giving one away at the end of the Kickstarter, and I'll be giving another away on my streamiversary, because everyone who is a miniature painter needs one of these things. You've probably seen them out and about on social media. They are as good as they look. They're not a gimmick. They are an extremely well-built product. Like, I don't treat my stuff nicely or kindly or gently because, well, I'm an oaf. Let's just put it that way. And this has survived everything I've thrown at it. It's been to Harvey Bay. It's been to... We went down south for a trip. Did that. It's been to multiple hobby shops around Brisbane for our paint meetups. It will be making another outing fairly soon. It's going to go to Canberra with me. It's going to go to Ipswich with me. It's going to go to GMHX with me. It goes everywhere that requires some sort of hobbying. It's there with me. That's how handy it is. Now, I have mobility issues, like I've said. This is a perfect system. Even with that water in it and all of that stuff, it probably weighs... Let's check this, actually. I think it weighs about 1.5, maybe 2 kilos. Scales. 0 grams currently. That's 1.28 kilos. Full, ready to roll. Now, the really cool thing about it is, also, you have the handle system and you have the cup system. When there's obviously not liquid in them, you can store your painting handle. This is my painting handle. As an example, the red grass painting handle. You can also pop that in there quite happily. You can pop a couple of the caps in there. But this is the best thing. This is the best thing. So the Pro Acryl bottles are a little bit bigger than the standard bottles. About the same size as the Citadel range. So we'll use them as an example first. So you can fit 12 bottles in there quite happily of those. And now for the other style of bottle, namely the sort of Vallejo size bottle. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. That's 18 Vallejo standard size bottles that fit quite happily in there as well. So it's a brilliant little system, and everyone should be using it. If they're not using it, they should be. I've put friends onto them. I've put like other guild members onto them. Like, I've got my affiliate link, which will get you 15% off your total order on the Krydrufi website. But don't use that at the moment, because this Kickstarter is what you want to wait for. You want this wooden one. I want this to become a permanent fixture on my desk. It is that pretty. I love it. So, keep an eye out on my channel, as well as other places, like social feeds, Kickstarter. Make sure you click the link down below, and it will allow you to save or get notified when the Kickstarter goes live. So at this stage, early May, maybe a bit later, give or take. But yeah, it's gonna be big. I'm buying another one. I there's no questions asked. I'm hands down buying another one with all the gear because I need two of them. And I want to thank Krydrufi for reaching out to me and allowing me to do this video and sending me these things. The original set I bought on Kickstarter. The rest of the stuff, the wet palette, the dry palette, the silicon inserts, the wood grain one, have been sent to me free of charge by Mint as a promotion for their company. Now, it's a really cool little system, and I'm in love with it. And I hope you fall in love with it too. So, as I said, May, mark your calendars, tell your mum, it's going to be huge. Alrighty. Peace out, everybody.